Hello, everybody. It's Ryan and Ant with Movie Chats, and today we are talking about the 2025 movie out of Germany. It's our first foreign movie called Brick, directed by Philip Koch, and
Koch.
starring Matthias Schweighöfer. Schweighöfer is his name.
Yeah, Schweighöfer.
Is the lead star, who is obviously the star of one of the stars of the film. He also dubs over the English version. We both watched this in German, but then I did a quick uh, kind of note taking in the English version as well, which it came across different. I think uh, it didn't really get the same. You didn't get the same emphasis on some of the characters and
Mm.
themes and tones. It what
And did
didn't
you
work
feel
in.
and did you feel it helped you? Like, did you feel you needed a rewatch with this movie?
I did need a rewatch, and let's just say what didn't work in the German version didn't work even more in the English version. That's
Oh,
because I'm
so
gonna.
now we're sure.
All right, this is premise of the movie is this couple, Tim and Liv, who have lost a child quite recently. She wants to kind of start afresh and let's go for a drive. We'll drive. They live in Hamburg. Let's drive to Paris overnight. We can be there in the morning. And he's like, no, no, no. I need to do this for work, and we'll go another day. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. So he's very much, since losing the baby, he's just collapsed himself into work, and she's trying to get on with their life. And then overnight, this brick wall has trapped them in their building, and they try and work out how to get out. And along the way, they meet a few of their neighbors. There's the next door neighbors, and then they decide that they're going to go all the way through to the bottom into the basement, and they just meet more people along the way. And the kind of the mystery of the wall is revealed along the way. That's where it gets a little bit convoluted, would be a word to describe it.
Yeah,
Would
that's
you
a good
agree?
word. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a nice word to to describe it. I mean, I still don't really understand what it is.
Yeah,
It's not really
right.
explained. I mean,
It's
they try to explain it at the end, but it's not, it just doesn't cut it.
nothing about this. It, I suppose a little bit of it makes sense. So throughout the journey, kind of they go down and down and down, and they get into this room where there's a character named Anton who has a very, very blink and you miss it scene at the very beginning where they're walking to across the street and they go, "Hi, Anton." He says hi. That's it.
Yeah.
So so and this is overnight. So Anton has died overnight because we are led to believe it's his pacemaker has shorted out because this brick wall is almost alien-like. And so his friend goes, "Oh, it's his pacemaker. It obviously it shorted out because of it." Little do we know later down the movie that it's not the pacemaker, it's the friend who's done it. Spoiler. I'm sorry, there's going to be so many spoilers throughout
There's
this
gonna be so
because
many spoilers, but to be honest, this one's like you can see it from a mile away. I mean, he's on the bed with a red scarf around his neck, and this guy, Yuri, who is the killer, he's dodged from the beginning, and he says he's a police officer. It's like my ass.
right? Yeah, that's like one thing I'd completely forgot. Yeah, and it was just a throwaway line. Like,
Yeah,
is he actually a cop or isn't
he
he a
looks more
cop?
like a drug
Because
dealer than a cop. I mean, seriously,
right,
no, I'm not falling for that 1 second. Um,
um, right, I'm just going to backtrack just a little bit for just 2 seconds, where because obviously the reason why this couple is going down through the basement into the basement because Liv is an architect. This is a threat where she's like, um, and the building was built in 1871. And she's giving the historic explanation of the building, I know because I went into the basement one time.
And it's connected
It
to the U-band, so that's why we need to go
Yeah,
down because
yeah.
we can escape.
So because,
I actually don't
because
really mind that, I have to
oh
say.
really?
It's like,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
okay. It's there. It's in the
Okay.
story.
All right. We'll go forward, and then obviously meet the next door neighbors who are just these party animals. And below
Mm,
neighbors is an old man and his granddaughter. They don't really serve any purpose to the storyline at whatsoever, other
mm,
to be their body count. They they're just body counts
sure.
because it's a one by one trope. One by one they die, and that's all that's all they're there for really.
Yep.
Um, and then obviously the super host, the the guy that owns the building,
Mm,
because they find him at one stage as well, and he's dead
yeah.
because just because.
Oh yeah, with the
Uh,
hands being cut off, that it's there is no explaining about that as well.
right. The only thought that I could have was he's worked out how to get out as well,
And he get
because
his hand like stuck, like
yeah,
the I don't remember her
uh,
name, get stuck in there
it was
too.
Anna. Anna.
Yeah.
That's what a way to go for her, though.
That was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean the
That was
CGI
probably
was a bit poor, but it was a good scene.
yeah. So obviously, for those playing at home, uh, the people inside the building have worked out kind of a way to get out where, with the cell phones, they kind of hold their cell phone up to the brick wall, bit like you do a QR code.
Yeah.
You tap in a code and it opens up the wall. And then they go, oh, cool, I can get out. But actually, if you don't put in the right code, the wall closes back over you. And then that's pretty much how two characters get dead. Is they, yeah. There's so much tech talk in that th second half of the film or the third act where
Yeah.
it's more guesswork and that just they just it's too convenient because
It is. Yeah. Um Maybe I have a bit of a different take on it as well
yeah.
because so I studied in Germany for a
Okay.
year
Yep.
when I was at uni. So I've been in the German culture and being from France as well. I grew up very close to Germany. There is a lot of exchange between the countries. So this sort of like tech, engineer, logic sort of thought is super German. But yeah, it's weird, I think, when you're seeing it from another culture's point of view, like from an Australian culture point of view, for example, it just feels like this is overreaching and very techy and weird and not understandable and not credible. I say it is like, yeah, it's credible, German like.
Um, right. Okay, I'm going to get into. I've got quite a few gripes of that this film. It's going to
Go
be
for it.
gripe over. Uh, Liv and Tim and Liv. I didn't buy them as a couple at all.
Mm,
There's just no chemistry there.
yeah.
One, he's like 15 years older than her, and you can very much notice the age difference between them. Uh,
Mm,
I just didn't see any chemistry between them.
mm.
Um, how many bullets did that gun have?
True. A lot.
Right. Um, another thing as well, at the beginning of the film, where the walls just come up and all the water's been cut off, they go days and days where they're breaking through all those walls, all those floors. No one goes, "Oh, I'm thirsty." How it and not once. Like the first thing, there's a movie called Inside. It's got Willem Dafoe in it. And the very
Mm,
first thing he does is when he gets trapped inside and he's like, his water's been cut off. He goes to find how he can get water. And there's like a little plant that comes that automatically waters the plant. And he has to kind of capture the water because people need water to survive. At not one
yeah.
stage did anybody just, I'm getting a bit thirsty. We need to try and find some water. And how clean did they all look after, days and days of smashing through brick walls and all these floors? I'm sorry. It just, for a movie that's about a nano robot wall, that was very unbelievable.
The movie is completely unbelievable from,
Oh,
beginning to end. Um, but at least it's
I,
consistent.
I've, I've, I've got more. I've got more.
Go for
So,
it.
Yuri gets shot at near the very
Yeah.
end when Marvin shoots him in the chest, kills him, and then he's dead. So the bad guys, and then it's just Liv and Tim. They're trying to work out how to get out. They work out how to get out. They're walking past dead Yuri, and he just comes to. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
he got shot in the chest a day ago, and all of a sudden he's okay. You don't just walk off a gunshot wound to the chest. You don't. Then he's obviously chasing them, chases them down to the basement, and Liv kills him with a hammer. And by this stage, she's opened up the door, and they're just looking at each other with this kind of, "We've made it. We've survived. We're gonna be okay." And
Yeah.
I'm just yelling at the
Go.
screen,
Go.
"On! That wall was about to close up on you." I hated it. I just no. It irked me. All of it irked.
Okay. I'm not that harsh on this movie.
I'm
Maybe I give my take, like, just put a little bit of sweetener on it. Um, I actually thought it was entertaining. I
Look, if you
didn't
don't
think,
want to read, if you don't go in reading too much about it, and you don't just nitpick like
no,
I'm nitpicking today,
look,
that I'm
that's the thing. It's a movie. It's not a movie that is made to make you think that hard. But I do think with, as you were saying, with all the tech talks, especially in the second half of the movie, I think the movie thinks that it's a bit smarter than it actually is. But just for entertainment value and for the setup of what it is of those people trapped in this building with that brick wall that is quite high tech, that you don't know where it's coming from, and they need to interact with each other and to go down to the basement to try and escape and figure out how to get out. I think it was an intriguing setup. I mean, I watched the movie, I quite enjoyed it in a way that I think it's almost 2 hours long, if
yeah
not more.
about that.
I was not bored. It didn't repeat itself. The pacing was
Yep.
sort of good. It had some inventive, like, shots and some good colors as well. Sometimes some of the editing was just a bit off, and some of the story was, yeah, really off, especially the Yuri stuff when he gets shot and then comes back to life because he needs to be there for a last scene of action and confrontation. Um, yeah, I didn't buy really any of the characters. I mean, they were just there to move the story forward or just to die. I would agree with that. So I'm glad I see it. It didn't irk me as much as it irked you,
Yeah.
but there is nothing too deep in this movie. It's shallow entertainment. You can put it on. You can even do something else as this is running in the background. It's this kind of movie.
Yeah. It's um it's definitely not one I'll watch again. Uh I ca- I don't have, yeah, that's all I can say. It's a movie we've watched, it's a movie we've reviewed, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be better. I'm disappointed. The premise sounded so good, and then just the end result, it just I felt let down. It could have
It,
been so much better.
It was a bit of a letdown, I think. And when we're talking about the assessment, there is a lot of indie movies, especially, that know how to set up a intriguing atmosphere, and they throw you in there, and they think that this is enough for you to be entertained. but it's not. You need something good. You need a good reveal. You need to have a reason behind, or and you need to have interesting characters that you really care about for them to make it through. And on those 2 points, this movie definitely fell short.
Yeah, like we only really get I think about 5 or 6 minutes of screen time before the wall kind of comes down. They should have really introduced Anton as a character, maybe have him in a scene or two, explained the fire in the harbor. What's that about? It was like it was a throwaway line in the
Yeah,
first kind of few minutes of the film where, oh, there's a fire down in the harbor.
yeah, it is.
What's the harbor district? What is that important to the? Is that
Yeah, we
do you,
don't
do you,
know that maybe it created the malfunction for the prequel to come up, but then it's very
yeah,
poorly explained at the end. So yeah, don't introduce anything in the movie if it doesn't really pay off. What might have been good is for us to spend a bit more time with the characters, especially the couple, if they are the main characters, then try and develop their chemistry and them as a couple and their backstory. Here, you're really being thrown the action, and then you're introducing too many characters that, okay, we don't really have time to get to know them and to care about them. The only scene that I liked between the two of them was when they finally have a fight, and she's finally saying why she wants to get away, to reveal alive, that she feels that she has waited long enough for him to stop working, to deal with it, and they can finally talk about what happened to them and what to do next as a couple or not a couple. That's the only thing that I would remember because it was well acted, and this is one of
yeah,
the only moments that I bought them as a couple and characters that
yeah,
I would care about.
yeah. I will agree with that. Yeah, that was a good scene, and they both, especially I think her name's Ruby Faye or Ruby Fee.
Ruby,
She
I think
really,
it's Ruby Ophie or Ruby Fee. We can call her the
yeah,
German Selena Gomez.
yes, yes.
She does look like her
Thank
very
you.
much.
I was like, who is she reminding me of? And yeah, yeah. I'm looking at her IMDb right now. It is Selena Gomez, 100%. Yep. Yes. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, they really at that stage, yeah, they did a really good job. But other than that, it. There was just too many inconsistencies. It was just not
Mm.
a good execution. Sorry, a good idea, poor execution.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not a you have a setup for a survivalist movie that is not about survival. It's about,
Right.
I don't know, trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. Pretty much. That's it.
Mm. Alrighty. Should we get into our scores?
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go a slightly higher score only for the fact that I forgot about that fight scene between the two. I did like that, so I'm going to give it a 1.5. Just because it's that that little scene there kind of saved it for a minute, I think lower. So very yeah, no, I didn't like this at all. I would not recommend it.
All right. Well, I would give the movie a little more. Maybe it's because of a German movie as well, so it brings a lot of memory to me. But I would give it a 2.5 out of 5. Um, it's by no way a masterpiece, but I don't think it was fully bad either. As I was saying, it's a movie that you can put in the background, not think too much about it. Otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise, you would really hate it. It has a couple of things in it. It has some good moment of acting, some clever little spots, but it's just not enough to make it a good movie. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you've seen it and you want to comment, please do. Let us know what you thought in the comment section. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us get into the algorithm. Until next time, have a good one.
Bye.